Well, hey, friends at Christ Place. My name is James Perush, and I'm the Director of Programs at Christian Heritage. Christian Heritage exists to help churches like Christ Place find clear pathways to serve vulnerable children. And Christian Heritage has been doing that for about 40 years, mostly in foster care. But we have a new and exciting program that we want to share with you called Families Together. And so we have this little presentation put together for you. We actually did this at the church on April 3rd. And so if you missed that, that's why you're seeing it right now. So what is Families Together? Families Together is a program that provides short-term hosting to vulnerable children before abuse and neglect ever occur. There's about 4,000 kids in foster care in Nebraska right now, and our heart is to get ahead of the system to prevent that from ever happening. And Families Together is the way that we're trying to do that. So I want to share about the vision of Families Together, and it's really to see the church mobilized to help vulnerable children flourish. We know that God's people, are the means that God will use to reach families in crisis, to help vulnerable kids, to welcome them into your home, and to provide Christ-centered hospitality as a way to show them the love of Christ, but also to keep them safe and to help them build a healthy community. So I want to show you how that's been done before with this quick video, Michelle and Odin's story.
We always knew that we wanted to foster someday, but it takes a long time to become foster parents.
Families Together offered us an avenue for bringing kids into our home that needed a safe place to stay.
It kind of felt like it was a great on-ramp for fostering, like a good kind of trial run. Could we do it? Could we handle it? Just kind of get our feet wet.
We got space in our home, got margin in our schedule, and so if Lindsay can come alongside a mom who needs an advocate, there's a lot of cool things that come out of Families Together.
I'm sure there are plenty of people who are at the place where I was. Going through that experience, the more people who support you, the better you'll do. I'm just so grateful that they were able to give me the gift of time to get well and get better, and so I could be the mom that I wanted to be to my son. They provided support and, a real relationship.
I feel like the hero in the story is Michelle. You can have a baby in your home, and we were glad to do it. He was a blessing when he was here. God's got us here for a reason. Our life isn't about us. There's never a convenient time, and there's no magic sauce to it.
I firmly believe that you have more capacity than you think. Some days it's hard. Parenting is hard, but God will meet you right there.
He sustains us. He gives us exactly what we need in every season.
But even if you don't feel like you have capacity to give of your time, give of your treasures, to the people that do feel like they have margin in their schedule to care for these kids, because God's heart is for the widows and the orphans and the poor and the needy. And I think he calls all of us to play some part in doing something about it.
Great. So that gives you a little picture of what happens when you welcome a child into your home. And it was a blessing to Michelle and to Odin. So how does Families Together work? We believe everybody can do something to help a vulnerable child flourish. I want to start with what Christian Heritage does. We handle all of the training, the administration, the matching between the child or the children and the host home, and really the general case management for the program. And so that's not something a church does. That's not something a host home does. We free you up to connect relationally with children and families. Like you heard in the video, right? You get to welcome a mom and a dad and their children into your life and love them unconditionally. And that's really the blessing that a host home and everybody involved in Families Together gets to do. And so Christian Heritage takes on the administrative, behind the scenes stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, the first major role is to be a host home. when you're a host home, you provide short-term care for a child in your home, and you can tangibly display the hospitality and the love of Jesus to a child and their family when you do this. And so it's essentially just welcoming them in as you would your own child, and you have them there for a short term, a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever you with Christian Heritage and the family we're serving work out. The next role is to be a part of the wider care community. And so a host home needs other things to succeed in helping a child flourish. And that's what the care community does. It's like an extended family-like network that provides the host home everything that they need so a child can flourish. And so that might be mentoring. It could be transportation after school or before school or during the day or a weekend. It could mean providing a respite to the host home for a night or two. It could mean providing clothes and shoes and diapers and bottles or whatever a child needs when they come into the host home. And the last role, and this one is super important, is being a family advocate. A family advocate is the biggest cheerleader and support for the parents that we serve. Really, what an advocate does is they love and encourage them as the parent pursues their goals as they wait for their children to come back home. And so we think this is so important because what we want to see is long-term change, long-term success for the families that we serve. We don't just want to keep kids out of the system for a few weeks. We want to help mom and dads grow and, again, be connected to a Christ-centered community. And so you can see how all of this works together to really create a healthy environment that surrounds a family. The goal is to welcome people into your life, into your community, into your church, even if they never come to church, even if they never become a Christian. That's not the point. The point is to be that tangible love of Jesus in a family's life when they need it. So that's the program of Families Together. We have a host home training that's coming up in May. It's for 4 weeks. There's 4 weeks of in-person training, and then there's about 10 to 12 hours of additional kind of personal study. The training is going to be at Christ Place Church, May 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th, and it lasts from 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. on those nights. And if you want to register for a host home training, you can see that URL at the bottom, tinyurl.com/hostachild. And what we're going to talk about in that training is everything that you would need to succeed in welcoming a child into your home. And so we're going to talk about trauma. We're going to talk about how to develop a care community. We're going to talk about mental health and boundaries. We're going to talk about how to care for your own self. And so we're going to cover all those kinds of things in 4 weeks. And again, with some additional study that you'll do on your own. Now, if you're interested in being a part of the care community or an advocate, we'll help you in other ways get prepared for that. There will be an advocacy training at some point later on this year, but if you're interested, you can reach out to us. You'll be able to see the number on the next screen to get in touch. And so there are ways that we can help you, equip you, train you to be a part of the care community or a family advocate. So if you do have questions and you're curious about, sorry about that, go to the next slide here. If you do have questions, you can reach out to Brian Barrier. Brian is our program partnership manager. His number is 402-875-3766. And so if you have questions, you can reach out to Brian. He can get you connected to our training, or you could go right to that link on the previous slide. If you want to be an advocate, or you just want to be a part of a care community, say you're somebody that's like, I just love to make meals, or I can transport kids to and from school, or I have some ideas about other ways I can help a child. Brian can help you get connected with that. So thanks for watching this. We know it was brief, but hopefully it gave you a good picture of what Families Together is and how it's designed to work. And hopefully your gears are turning about how you can be a part of it to help a vulnerable child flourish right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Thanks, Christ Place.